right. Make sure these vocals is cool. Uh-oh. I'm still behind. Let me see. All right, all right, all right. All right. Cool. We are doing the off-cam thing today. Once again, welcome to Beatzilla, the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am the host, Beatzilla PDX officially. Yes, indeed. All right, Silent D in the house, TJ in the house. Welcome. I kind of sprung this one on y'all, but this is something I wanted to touch on since it's so close to my city. Well, this is my city and my state to which they are referring to. For those who don't already know, I live in Portland, Oregon, which is the top of the state bordering Washington. Kathy B, welcome. So, being up here in the great Northwest, it's interesting how some things are kind of transpiring when people report on things that go on here. Usually, in all of these other places that we see, the people that go there always, or well, not go there, but the people that are there are always the ones interviewed. However, when it comes down to the Black community of Oregon, which mainly is in Portland, Oregon, no cameras or no media is reaching out to speak to any of these people here. I wouldn't expect Fox News to come calling me. But even with that being said, somebody from here, a parent, a local official, somebody. However, that's not taking place just as of yet. So, as you can see on the screen, Fox News, I guess this brother in the middle is filling in for Tucker Carlson or something like that, which is very questionable. Anyway, on the right is Maj Toure. That's right, TJ. Yes, that is Maj Toure. And on the left is Whitney Monroe. None of these people are from Oregon. Maj Toure is I don't know if he's even FBA, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. But he's from Philadelphia. So he has nothing to do with Oregon, definitely doesn't have anything to do with Portland. And again, I'm going to play some clips. Another reason why I went off cam today. So we're just doing the screenshot, and we'll be playing the audio. So nobody should be able to ding me on this broadcast today. So, as you already know and have probably heard, that Governor Kate Brown has suspended, well, actually, I think they pretty much done away with, for the time being, of reading, arithmetic, and writing standards for graduation. Now, they're putting it on the idea of it helping Black people. Well, that doesn't really make much sense considering the demographics of this state. Let me read something to you. And this is recent. So up to 2021, this is this year, Oregon population is 4,289,439. Desmond Works, Judah Queen in the house. Welcome. Yes, indeed. So, roughly over 4 million, about 4.25 million people in Oregon. Out of that number, so since I've given you, I'm going to show you these numbers first, and then I'm going to play you these clips, and then just tell me if anything they're saying makes any sense. Because again, they're not from here, and they did not reach out from anyone here. Look at these numbers here. Are y'all seeing that on the screen? So this is the demographic breakdown of Oregon. Let's look at that. Oregon demographics. According to the most recent ACS, the racial composition of Oregon was number one, white at 84.29%. Two or more races, meaning biracial, that was at 4.80%. You see the drastic jump just right off the rip? Let's go back. White, 84.29%. Biracial, 4.80%. Asian, 4.37%. Other races, 3.7%. Black or African American, 1.91%. And in the land of the natives, which, of course, we know many were reclassified as Negro. So just take that black number along with that Native American number, and then maybe you could make one number, which would still not come to 3%. 1.91% of Black or African American, Native American, 1.16%, and Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, which of course we understand, they just got a law passed for them, an anti-Asian hate bill and a police unit. Well, they're not even 1%. That's 0.40%. And they got a law in place for them. All right. So now let's get to the hustle, folks. So, of course, anything that would have the appearance that it might aid Black folks, people tend to go on alert, don't they? Well, with that being said, let me change the screen. So just going back to this screen, I'll address that conversation in a second. But first, let me play the audio of another person who, again, this person is another conservative. They're finding these Black conservatives, and these are some new people you might want to look out for, by the way, when you start seeing these new people pop up, you know. Okay. Okay. So listen to this dude. I'll play, it's about 3 minutes long. This is another man. He's a white, he's a, you might be questioning it, but he's actually a Black dude who is not from here. He has nothing to do with Oregon or Oregon politics. He most definitely has no idea of the demographic of what Black people are in the state of Oregon or where we're even concentrated, which would be Portland, Oregon, where I'm at, to where these people have never been. But without any further ado, let's hear some good old-fashioned con game, y'all. Because remember, the number I showed you, 84%. There is no other group in this state that could ever be a huge reflective number on education except for that 84%. Okay? Now, take a good listen to what I'm about to play.
Oregon governor secretly signs anti-Black school policy. Oregon Governor Kate Brown apparently did not want residents to know what she was up to while signing a bill ostensibly designed to help underperforming Black students. Perhaps it's because the governor and other progressives understand the legislation will not provide any real benefit for African American children. In other words, it's the typical so-called progressive policy designed to earn plaudits by appearing to care about the Black community when, in reality, they are making the situation even worse. Governor Brown signs absurd law. On July 14th, Governor Brown secretly signed into law a bill that suspends reading, writing, and math proficiency standards for graduating high school. This means students will no longer have to demonstrate the requisite skill level in these subjects to receive a diploma. Earlier in the year, Brown did not indicate whether she supported such a measure, but now it is clear where she stands on the issue. The Oregonian reports, Brown's decision was not public until recently, because her office did not hold a signing ceremony or issue a press release, and the fact that the governor signed that the bill was not entered into the legislative database until July 29, a departure from the normal practice of updating the public database the same day a bill is signed. Charles Boyle, the governor's deputy communications director, told the Oregonian, leaders from those communities have advocated time and again for equitable graduation standards, along with expanded learning opportunities and supports. However, the state's government did not implement any expansion of learning opportunities for minority students during this year's legislative session. The Oregonian further explains, the requirement that students demonstrate freshman to sophomore level skills in reading, writing, and, particularly, math led many high schools to create workshop-style courses to help students strengthen their skills and create evidence of mastery. Most of those courses have been discontinued since the skills requirement was paused during the pandemic before lawmakers killed it entirely. Opinions on the matter fell mainly along party lines, with Democrats supporting the measure and Republicans opposing it. Those in favor of eliminating the standards argue they should remain suspended until the class of 2024 graduates so educators can review the requirements. Those who do not support the move insist it will lower academic standards. Government helping Black Americans? While the law would apply to all students regardless of race,
Of course it would.
the governor and supporters of the bill are clearly targeting Black students.
How?
They claim this move will somehow benefit African American pupils who have trouble performing up to standards. However,
Okay. Now, what did you just hear? This will benefit all students, right? See, this is how they're trying to frame this. They're trying to frame this as this is being done because Black students are underachieving. Y'all hearing that? Anytime you start hearing the word Black, and especially your antennas need to go to outer space when they start talking about Black boys. Okay? When Black boys enter the conversation from these people, the hustle's on, folks. So this is all about, just look at the screen. 1.91%. Out of what percentage could you possibly figure are male school-age children? Now, out of that 84.29%, you got more of a reasonable playing field of numbers to deal with. You cannot tell me that that justifies a law being passed that you are literally trying to say you're helping Black people, helping Black students get ahead by not reading, writing, or knowing arithmetic. See, one thing that they don't know, because obviously they didn't look at the demographics of Oregon. These numbers show you the truth. Now, here, let me tell you something else. Like I always say, the Black population of Oregon, so majority of that 1.91% is where I am right now in Portland, Oregon, on the I-5 corridor. Look at where Portland sits and look at the size of this state. We're not talking about doing something in Multnomah County or Portland Public Schools. We're looking about doing something for the state. Well, the Black children having lower grades doesn't apply to majority of the state. So, of course, like they said, well, this would help all children. Well, of course it would, because it wasn't our children who are having the problem. Those of y'all who know I have a son that just graduated from high school back in June. One of the administrators told me right after graduation that this was one of the biggest graduation classes of PIL history. PIL, see, I actually live here, so I know what PIL means. These people here are just talking about Oregon. If you're not talking about Portland, you're not talking about Black people in Oregon. That's ridiculous. So, truth be told, this city is older than this state. Now, a lot of people may not know that, but look at this game here, y'all. So, white children have been suffering from this pandemic. Um, what's so funny is at the same time that these people are having so much of an issue uh, being by themselves or being closed indoors or at the house, Black people in the lane of depression and anxiety has actually lessened. Hmm. So Black folks not having to deal with certain stresses, things have been better in the midst of a pandemic. However, the counterpart cannot say the same. Hell, they're out here killing whole families and going to malls and shooting up stuff, ain't they? White people, 84.29%. But we are stopping a requirement of educational standards for the 1.91% and the 1.6% and the 0.40%. And I guess I don't know how they throw Asians in there. Since when have Asians been known to have these disparities? And again, that number is only 4.37. So we're not talking about the majority. The majority here is clear. So if you're looking to help all, then you never had to throw Black people under the bus for that, because we are not the representative of that failure. This is what y'all seeing here, folks. So this is what they're doing. They're trying to make Black people the face of white people's failure. These are your children, white America. Don't blame us because you've never took any onus for our children failing. Like I said, when they start mentioning young Black boys, go on alert. They've only targeted your boys for extinction. How all of a sudden are you trying to make something better? No trade school? But here, you don't have to worry about reading or writing. See, the thing about that is one group has the benefit of nepotism. So you take that requirement away, the people that have that nepotism factor, that built-in affirmative action factor, well, then they're going to be all right, ain't they? But what about the other people who just got useless diplomas? And what does that say about people with the previous diplomas? Does that not nullify all of that? This is a way of breaking down the system of competition because one group who clearly is the majority cannot compete. Babylon is falling. If you can't see it, ooh-wee. So let me play this other little madness for you. And this, again, this is from Fox News. Everybody got a opinion on something, but none of them are from here, at all. But yet they know so much. And Monster Ray is a joke.
Welcome back. When a governor signs...
Here, let me speed this up here. Let me wait until you get them all on here because y'all got to hear what they start talking about.
Schools to instead send their kids to better charter schools, there would be a mass exodus. And the public school system would either have to drastically improve or need to put in the work. And if you're not willing to do that, then give these families the choice to put their kids in a school that will. Take a look at Capital Prep, a charter school with locations in Harlem, the Bronx, Hartford, Connecticut, that serves predominantly low-income students, people of color. They refuse to lower the bar. Instead, they raise the bar. They push their students to meet high standards. They prepare them for challenges of the real world, and they don't make excuses. The result? 100% of college acceptance rate for their graduates. Shouldn't all students have the option to attend a school that cares about their future? Teachers unions and school boards know that if parents had the option to use their tax dollars going to public schools to instead send their kids to better charter schools, there would be a mass exodus. And the public school system would either have to drastically improve or shut down. So for them, it's just easier to lower the bar. And that's sad. Joining me now, Whitney.
Lower the bar for who? Who is the bar being lowered for? 84.29%? Why you got black people in your mouth, sir? See, okay, the last thing I just played y'all was a black conservative. Here's Fox News. They throwing two black dudes and a white woman in your face. Okay? And I have the demographic, the link to that website to see Oregon demographics is in the description.
Monroe, Serial Institute CEO, and Maj Toure, founder of Black Guns Matter. Whitney, I want to go to you first because you have been an education reform advocate most of your adult life. But it seems like they think instead of improving the system, let's just lower the standards.
Yeah, no, it's really sad. I want everyone watching tonight to understand that what Governor Brown and the bureaucrats are doing is they're not pushing for equity. This really isn't about equity. It's in fact going to create a system that does the exact opposite, increases learning gaps, lowers the bar, and basically tells children you don't have what it takes to achieve at a high standard. It's very sad. And we have to ask ourselves, what's the incentive here? What is the incentive behind getting rid of these learning standards? You know, in Oregon, kids were out of school, their schools were locked down for 14 plus months. They were lucky if kids logged in for their 2 to 3 days a week of virtual learning.
Whoops. And there you go again, talking out the side of your neck. You know, I might have, See, I was at graduation in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon, to where we had, again, a record graduating class where the community is the most sprinkled, saturated, and covered in melanin in this state. Somehow, these people are talking like as if they know what goes on here. Yes, we've been shut down, but the learning did not stop. And I mean, you have people who could still go to use some facilities. And at my son's school, they have a whole college middle college program. So what did they lack if they were still taking college courses with adults? I'm missing something here. These are black children I'm talking about right here. All those black boys and those little black girls, they were in a middle college program. There are more that are about to start this year. Hell, my son took a Japanese course from our local university through that program. But these people are talking way out of their necks. There were so many students in my son's class that had honors. Very few they were just graduating. Majority of that humongous class had honors. And out of that particular class, which is the most blackest, I would have to say the blackest, brownish mixed school in the PIL. And the PIL being the blackest school system in the state of Oregon, these people are talking out the side of their necks. And so everything they are talking about is untrue. I mean, completely untrue. Why would they get these people out here to talk like this? It is to save and preserve the image of white dominance and intellectual superiority. which in all actuality, you just saw the numbers. It is a complete and utter disaster, along with the new story that came out in the census that the birth rates on top of that are dwindling. Maybe nature has just turned its face to you. Yeah, let's continue.
So we know that gaps that already existed were exacerbated by the pandemic. And now that it's time for kids to go back to school and for us to start seeing where they really are, instead of going, you know what, let's look at where they are, let's set a baseline, we've gotten rid of the baseline. So now those people responsible for breaking the system won't be held accountable because we won't actually have the numbers to prove where the kids really are.
That's exactly right. Maj, the message is very clear from me. Young brothers, black and brown.
Let me ask y'all, you still have to take the SATs. That's not going away. So you're going to have to bring something there. I mean, or unless you just have a lot of people that don't take it. But I mean, there's going to have to be some reading and writing. And again, to say graduation, well, how are you getting your credits? So you're going to be able to get your credits without passing your test? That doesn't make any sense. But again, look at the percentage difference. It's not for black folks. If that was the case, there'd be so many more programs here for black folks than what we have.
You can't cut the mustard. You can't read. You can't write. If you come from a poor neighborhood, then we can't educate you. You cannot be helped. And so let's just get rid of the standards. Did I get that wrong, Maj?
No, you got it absolutely right. This is the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Let me explain something to you about Portland. Portland has no ghetto. Portland has a lot of homeless, but Portland definitely does not have a ghetto. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, we got poor, but Portland is probably one of the most middle-class places you'll ever come to besides, outside of middle America. So again, y'all got to understand. SMCM, welcome. You didn't get the notification. Well, they messing with this channel already, so it be like that. But these people are talking way out the side of their neck, and nothing that they're talking about is true. So there is no poor people and all of that garbage. That's a line of crap. That doesn't even fit the line that you even heard from here.
This is let's make sure that the black folks, that you guys can't really do it anyway, so let's just lower the bar for you. And they can try to couch it in as many vague and flowery words as they want to, but the reality of the matter is it's the soft bigotry of low expectations. This is the type of legislation that wants to make black Americans that work very hard, may not have the best economic scenario, but this is the type of legislation that they want to make black people a permanent underclass. It's goofy and it's wrong, but it's par for the course for, the Dems on the left.
It's goofy.
Nah, dude, you're goofy because y'all got up here with this complete fictitious line. I guess nobody's vetting these stories anymore. They just don't care. But let that be a lesson. New Black Media got these people up on their heels, folks. They just throwing stuff out there, seeing what sticks. Because everything that he just said about Portland doesn't exist. Well, no, he's talking about the state of Oregon. Let me correct that. I'm sorry, because I'm giving him too much credit. He keeps referring to the state of Oregon, not understanding the black folks that are up in Portland. Like, you might find a speck here and there in one of these little random towns. Typically, they're not an Oregonian. They might be there for work or something like that. Their wife is a traveling nurse or something like that. But outside of that, nah, man. If you got black Oregonians, chances are they was from Portland. Easy. So I just want y'all to look at that and listen to how they're throwing this out there, because what this is about preserving the image of the intellectual superiority of whiteness. But look at it. There is nobody in their right mind that can ever look at the numbers on the screen and tell me that they are so concerned about the Black African American component in this line versus the white. How does that make sense? But they're putting the black face on it. Now, well, this is just, if you're underachieving, because they can't say white children are underachieving. That's what the truth of the matter is. The mechanism that was in place for them to be escorted along through their educational process has been ripped away. And now the balance of the playing field has been revealed, and they are not competing while being the majority. That's when you start seeing laws get changed. And something so drastic that you don't have to prove. Okay, put it to you like this. You still got to go take a drug test and get a background screening, but you don't have to be able to read or write. Who, in all likelihood, is going to get a job in a state that has 84% white people in it? Who does that work best for? Don't ever think this is about black folks. This is about white people, y'all. And they just sitting up here trying to throw black folks under the bus and play victim. And they put these people out here like Maj Touré and this other bug-eyed nut. And then the other dude I was just playing. You're going to start seeing more and more of these people coming out, talking all the way out the side of their necks. And it's all going to be this vague talk about, well, this is what's going on in Oregon, and they just racial this and racial that. Anytime you hear them talk about Oregon and they never mention Portland, you are just call shenanigans right off the rip. Anything they saying is straight gas, straight up.
Goofy, and because it was goofy, they hid it under the radar, Whitney.
That's the bug-eyed dude.
And the thing that is so profound to me is that there used to be an argument to this because there weren't charter schools. But now that we got the charter schools that have been proven, now they want to block these charter schools from getting more money.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's fear of competition proving that what you've been doing wrong and saying wrong all along doesn't work. The reality is that our kids are having a hard time. Mm-hmm. There is a struggle in communities across the country. And we want, education is a fundamental building block of how we get kids and adults prepared for the best aspects of life, for really achieving and striving for more, for climbing that social and economic ladder. And they've pulled the rug out of under these kids by doing this. It's very sad, it's very tragic. And to be completely honest, we need to be holding them accountable for the things that they are doing now that are going to create generations of children who cannot achieve what is possible for them because of these decisions.
So let's unpack that, what Whitney just said, Maj. This is obvious now at this point that these kids aren't going to be able to make it in the real world with this. This is just unacceptable. So when these kids get into crime, these same advocates are going to be saying, just lock them up. But they put the policies out there. If you don't believe me, just follow it over the years. Look at Oregon. Look what's going to happen. These kids are.
Look at Oregon. See, he getting all hype, and it's all cap. This is like he doing the whole preacher routine, and it's all cap. Just look at Oregon. See, it's going to be prison, the pipeline, and this and that. Black people are not represented. We're not representing that number. Not here. I mean, out of all states to do this to, you did that to the wrong one. Oh, my Lord. And he up there bouncing up and down. You should see him. Oh, yeah. And he up here hype. You should see him. He up here bouncing up and down. This interview was from a couple of days ago. What they're trying to do is, again, for y'all who have been following my broadcast of late, I told y'all they're going to start doing this, getting back into the left and the right conversation, and they're going to start using people like Maj Touré to do that. And there's going to be more coming out. It's going to be people just like him coming out doing well, as a conservative over here, I'm doing this and doing that. It's all cap, because this here is just for them to get out there, make Black folks look like we are somehow at a disadvantage. So somebody has to step in and rescue us again. This is nothing that no one has ever asked for. I mean, this came out of nowhere. So trust me when I tell you, the call for the governor to make something like this, because she doesn't have children in school. So there was somebody somewhere that thought that this would be a good idea for her to do. Now they play as if, both sides were split. No. What you see happen here was just two wings of the same bird. And then they're going to put their little black minions out there to basically throw Black people under the bus, to turn it around and make white people the victims of a move that they are mostly benefiting from. It's political gain. So you'll have one side, because you got some of these brain dead Negroes that'll get out there and be like, see, man, this is what they did. And you got to believe they on the Democrat plantation. Oh, well, man, they want to be like Trump. Man, they helping white supremacists. Man, I live in a Democratic state. Now they're saying that the Republicans weren't on board with this, but do you really believe that? 84% is not Democratic or Republican, because that 84%, the rural areas of this state, is straight up Trump country. These people still flying Confederate flags out there. Don't get it twisted. The parts in Oregon that are out in the cut in the country, they off in the cut and out in the country. Yeah, it's the Northwest, but these people moved from the South to have a white utopia. So a lot of these places, they just keep Black folks out of. There are places that Black folks would absolutely never be caught. Not in this state. So with that being said, I just wanted to break it down to you and be mindful of this in the future as well, because when these type of things start showing up, the Maj Therese, it'll be the Candace Owens, and probably some of these newer people that they already got waiting in the wings. They're gonna start coming out talking crazy here because we have an election next year. So it's all about making Black folks look some kind of way to take your power away, when in all actuality, this move is for white children, not Black children. They don't care enough about Black children to make any law to keep them out of harm's way. But all of a sudden, we're caring about their futures. Come on now. Come on now. Cap, cappity cap. So, with that being said, I think I've played enough of this. Just be mindful, keep on the lookout. It's going to be a lot more of this. Well, they're doing this because Black folks and Black kids are just so downtrodden. It ain't us, and it ain't our children that have the issues. I mean, truth be told, where are these parents at? Only parents I have seen in front of a camera are the parents that are against CRT and going to these meetings, and they put them on TV. Then they get interviewed by Fox or CNN. Again, the way CRT is being used right now is being used as a political pawn, a chess piece. So you can pretty much scrap that idea. And just again, go back to the simple fact of what we are really talking about. Actual history. So, you know, we don't have to label it critical race theory. We could just look at it as the critical view of history. How about that? A critical view of history. How about that for a course? Will that make you feel better? How about the examining the content of character 101? Would that make you feel better? You know, so many people, oh, well, you know, people say you can't do this based on race. All right, well, let's put your character to the test. Let's do that. See how many people want to participate then. Ah, Lordy me. And with that being said, family, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Again, you can follow me at Beatzilla, on Instagram at beatzillapdx, on Twitter, beatzillapdx, Facebook, beatzillapdx, on Patreon, Beatzilla PDX Official, and of course, the Our Real Truth podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes, and various other streaming platforms. Of course, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. Oh, thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, and you're welcome. I'm glad to share this information with y'all. You know, and since this concerned my actual city, well, no, they never even figured out where the black folks are in the state, so I won't even give them that credit. But since they talked about my state, I wanted to go ahead and let you know what they don't know. You know what I mean? Man, oh Lord. There's so much to be seen. Like, you could do a little bit of research and find out about black folks in Oregon. There's a rich history here. You know, maybe I'll do another one of those because I did do Oregon's a little bit of Oregon Black history back in for Black History Month, but I might have to do something again soon and touch back on that. With that being said, if you want to put a donation on this platform, you definitely can. All donations are welcome and greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance, and thank you for those who have already donated. Peace be unto you. You can do so at CashApp, $Beatzillapdx. That is CashApp, $Beatzillapdx. And with that being said, you know how we do. Well, like I said, this is just a little off camera, but still the same, you know. So I will be trying to get more to you. Please like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. They might already start having shadow banned me. I'm not sure. Looks like not all the notifications are going out already. So please be sure to share this on your social media as well. We're a small channel, but even the truth coming out of small spaces is a problem for the enemy. With that being said, y'all, shalom.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth.
Yes.
See, that's what you throw.
Yes, right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knocked out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it. from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.